on, Kicks Gang? It's He Kicks back with another dope sneaker unboxing, and I'm super excited to be back with you guys. As you guys have probably seen, I've not been able to put out any content in the last couple weeks or so because I've been tremendously sick, super high fever, basically bedridden. As you guys know, I am disabled and do have a lot of medical and health issues. Thanks to all the supporters that have stuck with me throughout everything. I'm super glad to be back with you guys, and I have tons of new content to bring you. Sneakers that I had picked up throughout the last couple weeks that I have not been able to get out to you and will be getting to you very shortly. And the first video is something very, very special. I was able to get not one, not two, but 3 pairs of the Kyrie Ikhet Concepts collab in the special packaging. Like I said, not one, not two, but 3 pairs of the Kyrie Ikhet in the special packaging, and the story behind it is really, really unique, really dope. As most of you guys know, this sneaker was initially released on Christmas Day during the Christmas Day Celtics game. These were exclusively released in Boston at first, and I basically got a notification, being that I am a season ticket holder, and they said you can skip the line, you can purchase your pair of sneakers in your size, basically no sweat, no lines, no issues, and you can get your pair. So I was super pumped. I got my size 13. I was set to go, and I was like, cool, I got my pair. So Christmas Day came, I went to the game. I didn't plan on getting any additional pairs. Honestly, I wasn't even thinking about it, but we had gotten to the game really, really early, and when we got there, there was this insane line. And the purpose of basically getting to the game early is so that you can avoid the line, avoid the chaos, and kind of get up to your section and your seats. Being that I have the walker and all my stuff with me, I like to try to kind of get in before the crowd. But there's this monster line that's basically sitting there that's never been there before. So I kind of had a hunch that it was probably something sneaker related. In addition to the pairs that they gave to season ticket holders, they also said that they would be releasing pairs at that Christmas Day game. They really didn't give too much information on that, but that's basically what they said. So I asked a couple guys in the line, hey man, are you guys waiting for sneakers? And they were like, yeah. And I was like, hey, I was there with my mom. I was like, do you want to just chill out in line? We could probably get 2 bracelets, and then I could get 3 pairs. As you guys know, I don't really resell, but sometimes I'll pick up a couple extra pairs, or sometimes I'll pick up pairs that aren't actually for myself to sell, to pay for pairs that I actually put in my collection. So this is going to go on for a little bit. I do want to tell you the story about it because it is pretty crazy and pretty unique. I'll try to get through it as fast as we can, and then we'll get into this dope review. But basically, I'm sitting in this crazy line. People are arguing, people are fighting. Concepts is saying one thing, security saying another thing, TD Garden staff is saying another thing. It's just like mayhem. Nobody knows what's going on. They don't have the lines properly set up. People are cutting, people are yelling at each other. And I basically sat in that line with my mom for about an hour and a half, and honestly, I couldn't really stand that much longer. I'd been standing there at my walker. My legs are really weak. Yes, I can sit down on the walker, but it was just getting to be a little too much. So we decided we were just gonna say, forget it. I already got my pair. We're gonna go and enjoy the Christmas Day game. So we left the line that we had been standing in. We were probably like 50th or 60th in line. I had no idea what the stock was gonna be, and we went to the elevator. Now, for those of you guys that have not been to TD Garden, basically you get up the elevator 1 floor to where the pro shop is, then you enter into the garden, and then you can go up the floors inside the stadium from there. Well, we knew the release is going to be at the pro shop, so I figured, hey, maybe I can get up the elevator and get in before everybody else, or try to figure something out. And in the time that the elevator went from the 1st floor to the 2nd floor, they let the entire massive line, which is probably about 200 people, up the escalators and up the stairs. So as I'm coming out of the elevator, there's this flock of hundreds of people coming toward me, running into me, running all over, flocking, running towards this pro shop. It was crazy. I yelled out to my mom. I was like, go, 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 get to the front of the line. We both jumped in. It was super, super crazy. And the people literally just were pushing up against these turnstiles. You could see the turnstiles were like leaning over, and at this point people were pissed because they weren't giving out any information. People were cutting. It was just chaos. As I've heard with concept releases in the past, they don't really set them up properly. They don't set up lines. They don't let people know what's going on. So there's always this panic and everything that goes along with that. So we can see in the pro shop, there's probably about 100 boxes of these special packaged sneakers. So I was super pumped, and finally we get up to the pro shop and they still really don't have an answer. And while people are basically getting to the point of now they're starting to riot at the front of this turnstile, staff basically says, you guys can go ahead and get out of here. You're not going to be able to get these sneakers right now. We're not even releasing them till halftime. When you get in, you'll be able to get a bracelet inside the stadium. Then you'll have to come back out and get your shoes at that time. So we sat there for about another 20 minutes. It was definitely upsetting my mom because the crowd was really, really wild. Once again, I was kind of tired with the whole thing. So we said forget it for a second time, and we went into the stadium. Now we had premium tickets, so we were allowed to get into the stadium 2 hours early, so before a lot of the regular ticket fans are able to get in, or they're only allowed to get in about an hour early. So we were able to get in a whole hour early from the rest of the crowd. So we were basically just going to get some food, going to go to our seats, and I just happened to ask, I was just curious, I said to a guy, I said, is there any way for premium members to go and get these sneakers or anything like that? And he's like, yeah, they basically have a line set up inside the stadium. So nobody on the outside told us this. All the other people that are still not allowed in the stadium are still sitting out there, and we go to where they tell us to go, and that's between section 106 and 108. We get there and there are 4 people in line, a kid with his mother, his father, and his sister, and he basically wanted to get multiple pairs, so he was going to have them all get bracelets. In this line, it's basically got those little poles that are set up, kind of like a mock line, so when people come, they kind of have some order, and then there's this desk set up with nobody behind it, and we're just kind of sitting there. At this point, we really hadn't gotten any good information, so we were still wondering, like, are they going to come? Are they going to bring bracelets? Is nothing going to happen here? Are we going to have to just try to scramble during halftime? We had no idea. And literally within 2 minutes of having that conversation, 2 big head executives from Concepts basically rolled up with a big book of bracelets. They braceleted the 6 of us, and we were basically good to go. They said, make sure that those are either on your arm or hidden away in your pockets, because people will probably try to steal them from you, hurt you for them. Literally, this is what the Concepts crowd told us, basically to hide our bracelets and make them so that they weren't visible, because people would probably try to steal them from us. So basically what we did is we got our bracelets, and they said they're going to be dropping at halftime. So we went and got our food, we sat down, we watched the game, and 6 minutes before halftime we decided to go down. We thought we'd be early, and the craziest thing is the people that I met inside the line with the premium tickets, the 4 people, the kid, the parents, and his sister, they had the 4 seats sitting right next to me and my mom on Christmas Day. So the 4 people that just happened to be in that line, they were sitting right next to us. So we basically said, hey, we'll all go down at the same time. Well, what we didn't know is that all the sneakerheads, instead of going to the game, they bought $30 and $40 tickets way up in the rafters so that they didn't have to go to the game. They would just buy these cheap tickets so that they could get in, get their bracelet, and then basically go right back out and get to the front of the line so that they could get their pick of the crop, so they could get their sizes, you know, so on and so forth. But we really didn't know that at the time. So anyways, we watched the game, a great game. They won. They actually won in overtime, but we didn't get to see the second half of the game, and here's why. We went down, we thought we were going to get our shoes checked out, go back and watch the rest of the game, but by the time we had gotten down, and we left early, it's probably about about like 6 minutes left in the beginning of the first half. But like I said, all those other people that had bought the cheap tickets, they were waiting since the beginning of the game. So while we were watching the game, they were sitting there waiting. So by the time we got down at halftime, there was already about 80 to 90 people in front of us, and the process was going really slow. So we basically watched the entire second half of the game through our phones. We were hanging out with a really cool group of dudes that were also going to get these sneakers. As you guys know, it's always really cool networking with all the sneakerheads, collectors, and whatnot in the campouts and the lines. And as you guys know, because of my disability, I'm not really able to go out in the cold weather overnight camping out and stuff. It's just really too much for me. But in this instance, I decided that that was something that I thought that I could do, and I did. We did get the bracelets. Now, one other thing I want to add. Now, while we're sitting there, the 6 of us getting our bracelets, we put the bracelets on, and as we're walking down to our section, we start to see people running from all different directions. So in the same manner that I got off the elevator and they let the people up the escalator, we got into the TD Garden, and right after we got our bracelets, they let the rest of the normal crowd in with the regular tickets, and then they once again started coming running from all directions. And we were just happy at that point because we had gotten our bracelets. But all in all, it was a crazy Christmas game, a crazy Christmas pickup, and like I said, I was able to get 3 pairs of this particular pair, the Kyrie 5 Ikhet Concepts collab, and it is an absolutely dope collab, and the packaging is even more special. As you guys can see, you've got the Illuminati eye on the front, which is actually one of Kyrie Irving's tattoos. On the far side, or the lateral side of the box, we've got the Kyrie Irving logo and then the Concepts logo here. On the inside of the box, we've got a bunch of Egyptian writing, and then as you guys can see, they basically label all the sizes. It basically tells you what the sneaker is, the Kyrie 5 Ikhet, and then on the size, they just check that out. As you guys can see, this is my size 13, and then on the back of the box, you have Concepts and their logo as well. And as you can see, I'm gonna go ahead and pop the top. It's got a really dope box. You can see it looks like a granite kind of design, and then the top of the box almost looks like a Big Bang or Galaxy Foamposite type intergalactic scene. And then going ahead and looking to the inside of the box, even more so, you've got the Nike check, and as you can see, you've kind of got the constellations, the stars, and that kind of intergalactic Big Bang type pattern on the inside of the box, which I thought was really neat. The inside of the regular box, the inside of the box with the sneakers in it is the same as well. I've got my packing slip here from Concepts, and let's go ahead and get right into the review. So we've got the Kyrie 5 Ikhet, and bang, bang. Let me go ahead and grab both of these pairs out so I can prevent from damaging the paper and getting everything messed up, and put this to the side. But like I said, here we go. Super dope sneaker. Honestly, I wasn't a huge fan of the Kyrie 5 when it initially come out. They had made some additions that I wasn't really a huge fan of, but this particular sneaker is what really got me into the Kyrie 5 line, and honestly, this is definitely the best colorway so far that's come out. Honestly, I think this may be the Kyrie Irving sneaker of the year. Definitely a dope concept, and anytime you do something with concepts, you're going to get a really dope, high quality product. But anyways, let's go ahead and get into the review like we always do, starting out with the bottom or the outsole. We've got a clear slash, it's almost like a translucent purple outsole, and it's got little specks of blue, and then of course we've got the Kyrie Irving logo here in the front, and then you've kind of got that Illuminati eye look here. And just feeling the bottom, it feels super sticky, almost like you had just walked in sticky soda. And basically what that is the traction on this. That stick, for those of you guys that play basketball and are looking for traction, this sneaker is going to give extremely good traction, and it's also going to have that really good lockdown and court feel that basically we've come to get used to with the Kyrie series. Basically a sneaker that's designed for a point guard type player. And as you can see, it's got these really cool kind of like metallic looking ridges on the side. And then the midsole changes in color, changes up to a lighter purple color. And these purple and blue colors that we see here are basically represented by the Egyptian sky. Kyrie Irving basically wanted the entire thing to kind of have an Egyptian feel. And then once again, we've got that huge Illuminati eye on the back in gold. And then as you can see, we've got the entire upper, which looks like sand. And this was actually designed to look like the pyramids. And as you can see, these ripples that we have on the back are also really neat because it looks just like the waves that you would see in the sand in the desert. You've got this rigid silver metallic swoosh, which is almost like a hard composite material. And then you've got this silver swoosh that's not metallic on the interior of the shoe, that's basically just painted on in the knit. And then we've got these swirling patterns in that tan or sand colored upper mesh, which is really dope. And then on the Kyrie 5s, which is new, we've got this almost flower pattern cover that kind of comes over the laces. It's the lacing system, and as you can see, it wraps around from the inside. As you tie the laces through the loopholes here on the bottom, it tightens the whole thing and wraps it into the shoe. But the cool thing is these little fringes actually kind of stick out, and it gives it just a really cool design. And then as you can see, there's some differential in the color here, and then of course we have a little bit lighter color for those laces, just a typical rope lace. I noticed that this pair didn't come with any extra specials or laces, but it did come with that packaging, which is really cool. And then as you can see, I hope you guys can see on camera, but we've got that gold reflective paneling on the outside of that as well. And then inside you can see where that wrapping starts. You've got those white speckles, and it's really cool because everything on the shoe just contrasts really well. All the colors go together really well. And then something else really dope they did, they went with a totally different color, and they've got concepts in that Egyptian hieroglyphic type of writing on the left shoe, and then on the right shoe we have the Kyrie Irving logo. But then down here on the middle of the upper, we have that concepts logo here on the right shoe, and then alternating up like they usually do with Nike shoes or Kyrie shoes, and then the Kyrie is on the opposite side. So basically what you see on the tongue is opposite, and then what you see here on the upper of the shoe is opposite as well. For those of you guys that are new to the Kyrie 5, the mesh is basically the same exact material as the Kyrie 4, and the outsole does wrap up on the sides a little bit, and it seems like this sneaker would have pretty good lockdown, and that added traction on the side is good. Basically when Kyrie does the things that he does, the things that he's great at, when he's cutting and moving direction, sometimes that sneaker will kind of like jut out, and then he'll need that additional grip on the outside. But all in all, just a super dope sneaker. A couple more things I wanted to talk about. On the right sneaker, you can see we've got the Illuminati eye like I showed, but down here we've got a little V, and that represents number 5. And then on the back here of the other sneaker, we have the V, which represents 5, and then the V down here, which is 5. For Kyrie Irving's 5th sneaker release, like I had said before, the laces are a little bit lighter color than the rest of the upper, and then we have a really nice shiny plush almost velour interior that's really soft and is going to be really comfortable. On the right shoe, on the interior, we have that tan color again, but on the right side interior we have the Kyrie Irving logo. On the left side we have Kyrie Irving's signature with his number, and it just looks super dope. As always, I'm super happy to have this in the collection, and I'm super happy that I was able to not only get 1 pair but 3 pairs, and was able to get those all with the special packaging. Like I said, the other 2 size 10s that I was able to get. Those were some of the only other sizes that were available by the time we had gotten through the line, but I was fine with that because I knew that I had gotten my size 13. But super happy and excited to add this to my collection. I think this is going to be the best Kyrie sneaker and collab of the year, although it is early, so it's definitely kind of hard to tell. And it's also the first sneaker I have in my collection that I got from Concepts, and my first sneaker that I've gotten that has that special packaging. Let me go ahead and give you guys a couple more close-up looks. Really dope sneaker. All the details were perfect. No glue stains. Quality control was amazing. Packaging was amazing. And like I said, just super honored and happy to have this in the collection. And with that, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up. And like I always say, if you guys are new to the channel, feel free to subscribe and smash that notification bell so you can get all my videos on demand. And if you guys have been with me, supporting me for a while, I thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. As you guys know, none of this would be possible without you. It's Heat Kicks. I'm out.